Well, the time is just gone 12 minutes past 8 as we kick off this morning to be joined by none other than our respected, our Honorable Qari Ziad Patel. Qari Ziad, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and welcome.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Inayat, and to all of our esteemed listeners of Salam Media. Thank you so much for having me this morning on the show.
Yes, Jazakallah khairan. And obviously, Qari Ziad, we cannot take our eye off the ball at this point in time. Situation is dire, situation is extremely critical. We know hunger is starting to set in Gaza. And for organizations like yourselves, the Imdaad Foundation, I know you've been serving the Gaza Strip for a very, very long time, for a better part of over 15 years. You've responded to conflicts in the past, but this is unprecedented, something that we haven't seen before, because we see extreme levels of suffering, but also extreme levels of devastation and destruction. And also looking at, some of your projects that you've taken time out to build over a period of time. We're talking of desalinated water for human consumption, all of that out in play. And clearly, it is a very, very sad, but also a dire situation that even Al Imdaad finds yourselves in.
Now, undoubtedly, you know what? To take a step back, let us just quickly take a step back. Let us quickly reflect. Let us quickly ponder. Let us quickly analyze. What is happening? What is happening in the world? Allahu Akbar Kabira. The dichotomy, the hypocrisy, the injustice. I don't think there's ever been a period in our life where we've experienced such a tragedy, such a catastrophe. I mean, on a daily basis, innocent civilians, innocent young children are being literally slaughtered before our eyes. This is something which is happening in the modern day era, when we're supposed to be having custodians who are looking after the affairs of the world. And unfortunately, all of this has turned a blind eye. It's a really, really sad situation. Daily, I say to myself, look at the state of the Ummah. Look at how in the last 48 to 72 hours, we've lost over 700 children. 700 children. Has the human race, have human beings come to such a low? Have they reached such a low? That human life has no value or no significance at all whatsoever. Let's park off everything aside. Put everything else aside, whether it's religion, race, creed, culture, whatever it may be. Let's park that up aside. Let's talk as human beings, just as human beings. Have we stooped so low that we cannot even protect innocent young little babies? This is an absolute tragedy. It's an absolute humanitarian tragedy, and it's going to be a tragedy which will linger in the annals of history for a very, very, very long time to come. Speaking about the hospital, which we have been running in the Gaza Strip since 2005, to be exact and correct, since 2005. It's close on to 20 years. It's been a pet project of the Imdaad Foundation. It's a project where we put our heart and soul into. It's a project where every year we help to develop something new in the hospital. Every one of the staff or the volunteers or the well-wishers of Al Imdaad, we put our soul into that project, and we've seen the results of it. Over 56,000 babies have been born at that facility. It's seen to the well-being of a major part of the Gazan people, and to see it in this state, to see that critical infrastructure being bombed away, where we're talking about just water tankers. It's just, I don't know whether to cry or what to do. Every one of us are experiencing the exact same pain.
Well, certainly, Qari Ziad, and also I'm just looking at the horrific picture, actually, with the one of the tankers that have been actually blown to bits, and we know the water situation has been dire all the time, and it's just getting worse. And when we look at infrastructure like this that is being, bombed and taken out and over and above, we've seen, many other of the infrastructure, things like even, the mosques, the schools, because I know all of this and all of that Al Imdad has been doing with regard to providing water is going a long way, not only in providing water to the hospital, but also to many other areas like masajid, schools, public buildings, needy families right across. And this is, and I hear it in your voice, I hear it in your tone in terms of how critically important this project was for Al Imdad Foundation.
So just to give a little bit of context with regards to our water projects in the Gaza Strip, a lot of our operations happen from the Al Imdad Al Sahaba Medical Complex. And in this complex, we have a desalination plant, which was put together by donors from South Africa and Mauritius some 15 years back. And of course, yes, we purchased water tankers. And every morning, these water tankers would come, they would fill up with clean, potable water and take water to those areas where they don't have access to clean drinking water, etc. And this has been a fantastic, charming project and very welcomed by the people of Gaza, as we do know that a lot of the water from the ground has been contaminated in the Gaza Strip. It's a very, very, very sad situation. And of course, yes, Alhamdulillah, the desalination plant is still operational. Yes, it has been intermittent. When diesel has been available, we will be in a position to produce clean drinking water. When there's no diesel, we have been having some halt in the production of clean drinking water. But I mean, to be bombing civilian infrastructure, that's the point today. That's the discussion today. I mean, how ruthless, how barbaric can that be? That you're actually targeting civilian infrastructure, critical civilian infrastructure. I mean, that is something which cannot be pardoned. That is something that cannot be pardoned. I mean, in today's modern era, when they talk about using precision-guided weapons, etc., etc., when they know that this is a water tanker or this is a water facility, or it's so close in proximity to a civilian infrastructure as a hospital, and then you still target those things. I mean, that's pure barbarism. It's pure barbarism. It's horrific. We don't have the adequate, correct English vocabulary to condemn such atrocities and such bad behavior from the occupying forces. But we say, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. That's what we say, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil, ni'mal mawla wa ni'mal nasir. And yes, we will build again. And Alhamdulillah, in the last 24 hours after we released our press statement with regards to the bombing of that water tanker, many people came to the fore and have said, we will replace those water tankers. We will replace those water tankers. So whatever it may be, remember the human spirit is very strong. The spirit of the Ummah is absolutely strong. The spirit of the Gazan Palestinian people is rock solid. So if they think they're going to break them, nay, they are incorrect. They are completely incorrect. But Gaza will be rebuilt and the people, inshallah, will be leading a better life to come, inshallah.
Well, inshallah. Kariziyad, I'm going to put you on hold. We're going for a quick air break. We'll be back with you.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media, your humanitarian broadcaster.
There's no smell that takes me back to the comfort of my childhood than the smell of black seed oil being applied by my nani. Now I'm using Tib black seed in my own home to soothe sniffles and coughs, to help with digestion and immunity, and of course, as part of my beauty routine. After all these years, I've come to appreciate the wisdom in finding comfort and shifa in trusted treatments like Tib black seed. You can find Tib black seed at all leading pharmacies or find out more at blackseed.co.za.
Conveniently located along the banks of the Crocodile River bordering the Kruger National Park, as a guest at Buckler's Africa Lodge, one can enjoy an amazing sunrise or sunset on our spacious deck area while you catch a glimpse of some wildlife sightings along the Crocodile River. The sounds of the African savanna will greet you whilst you enjoy your morning coffee. Buckler's Africa Lodge by Tingana Collection. Buckler's Africa Lodge is ideally situated only 6 kilometers from the Crocodile Bridge Gate in the Kruger National Park. Catering for all travelers with variety, we have 4 types of the finest rooms: superior rooms, deluxe rooms, deluxe suites, and 2-bedroomed family units. Each room is equipped with the finest amenities to make your stay unforgettable. Guests can choose between the self-catering option or book their accommodation with breakfast and dinner included. Buckler's Africa Lodge is your ideal location for the ultimate Kruger getaway experience. We specialize in exhilarating and educational game drives in Kruger, tailor-made to suit your family. Inquire about our various accommodation offerings and other activities. Visit www.tingana.co.za for more information. Buckler's Africa Lodge by Tingana Collection. Experience the pulse of Africa with us.
Sponsor an orphan, and you'll help support a vulnerable child to have the education they've always dreamed of, so they can build a brighter future. You'll be feeding a hungry stomach and a hungry mind with knowledge that will last them a lifetime. That's the power of an education. Sponsor an orphan now with Islamic Relief.
Ah, the kitchen, the heart of the home, where memories are made and celebrated. Our go-to place for those freshly stacked pancakes early in the morning or for that late-night snack munchies. We are in there together, cooking, eating, and celebrating life together. Let's keep the kitchen a place that is shared by everyone, where we build stronger bonds and grow together. Sunfoil, Now We Cooking. Visit nowwecooking.co.za for recipes that everyone can help make.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Al Bayt Lodge, your true home away from home. Al Bayt is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities. Conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities, your stay will be truly unforgettable, as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Al Bayt has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albaytlodge.co.za.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media. Humanity sets the agenda.
The time is just gone 8:24 a.m. as we continue with our discussion with Qari Ziad Patel with the Al Imdaad Foundation. And as we witness this unfolding tragedy, we hear of the Palestinians, Qari Ziad, saying, if we must die, our stories must live. Because each death becomes a call for the living to become storytellers as we bear witness to the pain that is transcending across all generations. And earlier on, when the attacks had taken place, I spoke to Abir Barakat, who is a lecturer in English in Gaza. And, she spoke about a neighbor's request for painkillers. And she said, in Gaza, there is no such a thing called a painkiller. In Gaza, we only have killers and we only have pain. Now that summarizes a lot, Qari Ziad.
Yes, indeed, Inayat. I tell you, wallahi, we've been on an emotional roller coaster these last few weeks. I sat back, I reflected upon my own life, and I said, in the years that I've been on this earth, I think I would say the last 2 months have been one of the most tough, the most saddest, the most grueling, purely on our emotions and so much more. It's so hard to digest. And I'll tell you why, Inayat. We are living in a modern day era. We're living in a social media era. Nowadays, anything happens, we see the images, we see the footage live, we see it firsthand. And we are seeing this on our phones, on our devices. And what can we do? To a large extent, we are pretty much helpless. Yes, we can send aid, we can make dua, we can do so much. But we cannot still help our brothers and sisters adequately. We cannot stop their pain. And I'm saying the sisters put it so beautifully. Painkillers. There are no painkillers in Gaza. You only have pain and you only have killers. And we that are sitting on the outside, on the spectator lines, I mean, we've exhausted every avenue in trying to help and assist. And then, too, the pain cannot stop and the killers cannot stop. So it's a very, 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 very sad situation.
Yes, Kariziad, I see there is a question that's come up from Tahira Omar on the screen, wanting to know if, saying, can't they do water wells in Gaza? Now, knowing the situation that with regard to Gaza and with Al Imdaad being involved for the last 15 years, is that a possibility?
So let me just put it into context quickly. I think that foundation has been very active in the Gaza Strip in crisis and non-crisis situations. So we have not only activated ourselves since this disaster has taken place or since this onslaught has started. We've been active there throughout consistently over the last 20 years. With regards to water projects in the Gaza Strip, we have been doing water projects. And a lot of these water projects have been in the form of desalination plants and water tankers, etc. So a lot of this has been in progress. Right now, with so much of uncertainty and the fighting which has reached its peak, the atrocities which have reached its peak, the onslaught which has reached its peak, we are just managing to do the basic. And the basic is to keep the hospital running, to continue the current desalination plants and the water distribution from the hospital complex. And of course, there's the providing of food hampers and hot, which is also being conducted from the As-Sahaba Al-Imdad Medical Complex. So until there is some kind of normality, then only can we look forward and then look at the rebuilding of critical infrastructure. So yes, our intention is there, our intent is there. There's so much that we want to do, but we have to be safe in what we are going to do, and we got to be realistic in what we got to do. And the only time we can activate our infrastructure development, etc., is once there is some kind of normality, once there is some kind of proper ceasefire in place, and once we can say for 100% that these critical infrastructure will not then be bombed again and destroyed. Until we don't reach that point, it's going to be very, very, very difficult for us to do this. Trust me, I can take an oath. We want to do so much. Wallahi, we want to do so much. But we got to be realistic in our approach.
Yes, and also, Karizian, I'm sure you're saying we want to do so much, and I'm sure that many people will come forward. And as you mentioned, with the tankers being destroyed, the water tankers, and also looking at the salination plant, people will come because people want to. And I'm sure you've been having these discussions amongst yourselves, amongst the people involved with the Al Imdaad Foundation, and also at the same time with regards to the donors as well, because we know that people have embraced the cause in each and every way. And inshallah, like you mentioned, is normality needs to be reached. And then we're going to see a flood of aid flowing into Gaza to, again, to repair the damage, to make sure that normality, that the people of Gaza reach a normal life as soon as possible. And at this point in time, we need to prepare ourselves. We need to actually gear ourselves. And this is the reason why people still need to come forward, in anticipation that, this will end. It will not last. Definitely, it won't last forever. But at some point in time, the bubble will burst. And, this is when the real work starts.
Undoubtedly, 100%. In fact, from our side, on a daily basis, we are meeting, we are convening, we are brainstorming, we are talking all the time to our contacts in Gaza. Whenever there's internet connectivity, we are in contact with them consistently. And we have great plans going ahead. And I'm rest assured that Allah Azza wa Jal will open the way for us. Remember one thing, as mu'min, as Muslims, we got to do what we have to do, and then we leave the rest in Allah's hands. But we cannot just sit back and do nothing. We cannot just sit back and say, we cannot just procrastinate. We got to put solid plans of actions into place. And in fact, I met a group of people recently on one of my travels, and they said to me, it may seem as a very far-fetched idea or a very far-fetched vision, but we have to make a start. We got to make a headway. We got to do what we have to do. And then you leave it in the hands of Allah. And then you see how Allah opens the way, how He opens the doors, how He opens the avenues. So, Alhamdulillah, from that perspective and from our side, we are on a daily basis. In fact, I can even go one step further. At least on an hourly basis, we have been meeting, talking, discussing, brainstorming, trying to arrange, trying to organize with our various offices from around the world with regards to, with the focus in Gaza, trying to help as much as we can. And Alhamdulillah, I don't want to sound biased and I don't want to sound proud, but I can say Alhamdulillah, it's all from Allah, from Allah Azza wa Jal. It is only through His favor upon us that we, thus far in the crisis, we have managed to do so much. And to the listeners that are out there, you can check out our various social media platforms. We are posting our daily updates onto those platforms, and you can see firsthand what we are doing for the people of Gaza in this crisis whilst the bombing is continuing.
Well, Garizia, Jazakallah khairan, and obviously we encourage people to continue visiting your social media pages, your website as well, inshallah, and take a close look at the projects and do whatever we can in whatever way, no matter how small, no matter how big, every bit of help actually counts. But for now, Jazakallah for taking time out and talking to us this morning right here on Salam Media. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah khair wa ahsan jaza. If anyone needs any other information, www.alimdad.com, you're more than welcome to engage us. And together we will help the people of Gaza, and together, inshallah ta'ala azza wa jal, we will improve their lives and bring about some kind of relief and goodness to our brothers and sisters. Barakallahu feek. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Qari Ziad Patel with the Al Imdaad Foundation with us this morning. We're going to go for a quick break. We come back. We will be focusing on the outreach with regard to lost lives. We're looking at media. We're looking at journalists. Well over 90 journalists have already been martyred in Gaza.